What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. The death toll on the island of Maui in Hawaii rising here still, probably going to continue to be even more here. Take a look. As the death toll now at least 80 and still climbing. I wouldn't be surprised to see this over 100 as this is now the worst tragedy in recent history in Hawaii's history. Wildfires as survivors begin returning to communities in ruins. It looks like an actual war zone there in Hawaii. Take a look at some of this footage here.
The death toll rising overnight in Maui as officials warned it would.
At least 80 people are now confirmed dead from the wildfires, and officials say that number could go up as crews search more of the rubble. Names are being posted on social media to help people connect with loved ones still missing. We have team coverage. Whit and Gio are on the ground in Kula, Hawaii with the very latest. Good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Will and Janae. Such a heartbreaker here. I've been here, as you know, since before these fires broke out, and it's been so surreal to watch the transformation on the island as the people now turn to dealing with this tragedy. Fire officials do believe it will take a few more days to completely contain the fires. They are working to extinguish flare-ups on the island, and there was a new evacuation for residents in Kaanapali when a fire broke out on the hillside. Thankfully, that fire is now contained.
So we are seeing some progress. That is encouraging news. In the meantime, on other parts of the island, residents were being allowed back into their charred neighborhoods to see the extent of the devastation for the very first time. But this morning, there are growing questions about what happened before the fires and whether there was enough warning for people to get out. This morning, the devastating wildfires across Hawaii, now the deadliest natural disaster in the state's history. The death toll reaching a new grim milestone, at least 80 lives lost, and the numbers still expected to climb. And overnight, a new wildfire breaking out in Kaanapali, forcing new evacuations and renewed fears among residents who've already suffered so much. The initial deadly fires breaking out on Tuesday, sweeping through communities like Lahaina, leaving destruction in their wake. 3 days later, a line of cars outside the decimated town, residents finally allowed back in to see what's left of their homes.
Just want to see what's left, but nothing.
Nothing. All gone.
Will Carr getting a first-hand look.
The fire burning not only this courthouse, but also the historic banyan tree behind it, the tree that everybody comes to see.
The charred remains of buildings and vehicles lining the streets. Hawaii emergency management records show no indication warning sirens sounded before people had to escape. Instead, alerts went to cell phones, TVs, and radio stations, but power and cellular outages limited their reach.
It seems sporadic. I'm going to have to say that the government could have done a little bit better. And it seems like nobody was paying attention.
Kessa Stoddard and her family lost their home, leaving everything behind in just 10 minutes.
Did you receive any kind of warning that the fire was coming into the town?
No warning. We are supposed to get, on your cell phone evacuation notices, alerts. We got nothing. Nothing. Not one alert to evacuate.
So your only signal to get out was the explosion and the flames?
Yes, and the smoke and people leaving town.
And it's not only Lahaina. Flames ripping through homes in this Kula neighborhood.
So over there, my sink's there. That's my kitchen. That's going to be the treasure hunting.
Akane Joseph and her mother Mika fleeing with their family as the fire exploded in size.
We had maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
you had 5 minutes to gather your family and get out.
Akane's father spent decades building this multi-generational home with his bare hands. Now it's all gone, but they refuse to give up hope.
It felt like safety and it felt like home. And, there's things you think you'll always have. Things you think you'll give to your children. Pictures.
It's too late. This is done.
Yeah, we're
so
a little
nothing,
different.
nothing we can change. Can't go back. But we had to go home.
You know, we've been just so inspired by a lot of the families we've been speaking with here, and the mom, Mika, there, she was digging through the rubble, and I said, be careful, be careful. I was trying to help her, and I was like, what are you doing? She said, I'm digging for treasures because anything I can salvage, I'm going to keep with me and incorporate in our new home as we rebuild. They're already thinking about what's next and how they can support other people in the community.
Yeah, very, very tough there. Yeah, Hawaii has a special place in our heart. You know, we've been there a couple times, and in fact, my wife actually, she got pregnant there the first time when she had her miscarriage um, in Hawaii. You know, so it's special to us. Yeah, very tough for a lot of those people. Over 80 lives lost and countless homes, probably billions of dollars of damage. And this was because a hurricane that went by and the winds went by and started fires. I don't know, electrical lines, and I don't even know if they know the exact first cause, but as you can see, fires are still being started because of the high winds, and they're still being caused here. And you can see here, be prepared here because they're expecting an extra active hurricane season here. That hurricane went by Hawaii was what started this. And obviously we've had some really bad hurricanes in the last several years, especially Florida and the Gulf of Mexico. So yeah, hopefully this is not the precursor to a lot more damage coming soon. But because of El Nino weather pattern and abnormally warm weather, here was actually a article from last month. Water temperatures in parts of Gulf of Mexico feel like a hot tub. Hot tub. This is how warm water temperatures are. You can see the water temperature in Miami at the time was 97 degrees at that particular moment. That's literally as warm as a hot tub. So, yeah, this is very, very concerning because when you get extra warm weathers like that, or extra warm water temperatures, it's not a good thing. Yeah, they're saying here, forget trying to beat the heat in the Gulf waters. It would feel more like going from a sauna to a hot tub. The marine heat wave has pushed Gulf temperatures well into the 80s in most areas, and the water around the Florida Peninsula are even warmer in the 90s. This was a few weeks ago. I'm not exactly sure the exact what they are right now, but this just gives you an idea here of how dangerous conditions can happen, especially when you get hurricane season. These areas around the Florida Keys are fairly shallow, and many of the measurements are taken at a depth of only a few meters. Regardless, Gulf temperatures this hot this early in the year, very abnormal. We typically begin to see this kind of warm weather in August and September during the peak of hurricane season. There are a few reasons why we have been seeing this unseasonably hot water. Sea surface temperatures and the Bermuda High is a semi-permanent area of high pressure located over the central Atlantic. High pressure contributes to the strength of the trade winds which travel from the coast of Africa across the central Atlantic to the Caribbean. And they're caused by pressure gradients or differences across this region, contributing to the largely by the strength of the Bermuda High. What does warm Gulf mean for hurricane season, or even warm temperatures on, say, the West Coast or by Hawaii? Warmer weather, abnormally warm waters could be bad news as we head into the peak of hurricane season. Meteorologists are actively studying the rapid intensification of hurricanes in the Gulf and really everywhere. It's believed that part of this process is due to warm waters deep in the Gulf caused by the loop current. This is the current of deep waters that bring water from the Caribbean up through parts of the Gulf of Mexico and then back out around the tip of Florida. It's hard to identify the strength of the loop current past the springtime, especially when the SSTs are very warm in the Gulf, because it is difficult to distinguish deeper temperatures from the surface temperatures. The entire Gulf of Mexico basin, though, is fairly shallow in comparison to the deeper waters of the Atlantic, which it allows to get warmer faster. You can see the water temperatures there, extremely hot, 85 to 93 degrees. Wow. Hurricanes need warm waters of at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit to a depth of 150 feet to be able to strengthen, because they churn up the waters on the surface. If there is a thin layer of warm water, it is quickly replaced by cooler water as it is churned, resulting in a weakening of the storm. Yeah, and because it is El Nino season, most likely here in effect, I don't know. We'll see. Let's hope that it's not a particularly bad hurricane season. It would just be one more thing. You already see what's happening here in Hawaii. So I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here on a daily basis. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below. Click the bell icon after subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Click here to see a new war starting that the U.S. is already caught in the middle of, or click here to see new Walmart and Target stores closing with a shocking reason for. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.